Welcome back! In today's episode of Beasts and Myths from Might and Magic, we're gonna focus on liches. Let's start with a tale that might have inspired the creature we know today. Around the 18th century in Slavic legends, a character known as Kościej appeared, also known as the Immortal or the Deathless. He cast a spell which prevented him from being killed. He hid his death inside nested objects to protect it. Kościej is depicted as so thin that people thought of him as a living corpse. Modern liches originate from the D&D role-playing game booklet Greyhawk. The description of lich as an undead mage was based on the short story Sword of the Sorcerer. A mage becomes a lich by means of necromancy, using a magical container called a phylactery to store the soul. The other popular method of becoming a lich is the ritual of becoming, or ceremony of endless night. The process is basically creation and consumption of a deadly potion. It's no surprise that this classic fantasy creature, like many others, was adapted from D&D into the world of Might and Magic. In Olden era, we just might learn about another method of transforming into a lich. Liches are well known for preserving their life, or should I say unlife, at all cost. It means that even if we thought one ought to be dead, they just might not be. Destroying their physical body is often not enough. Liches have always been present in Might and Magic games and their various spin-offs. Sometimes they looked more like demi-liches, just a flying skull. Other times we could have non-human liches in our party, such as dwarves or elves. In Heroes as a unit, they first appeared in Heroes 2. They were tier 5 and could be upgraded to power liches. The main ability allowed them to shoot an area attack, affecting the target and every adjacent unit. When it comes to the design, I have to point out that both levels are wearing a crown, and don't have any weapon associated with mages. Power liches could also be recruited in the City of Dead. In Heroes 3, it's a further evolution of the design. They still are tier 5 units, but now the Death Cloud attack only attacks all non-undead adjacent creatures. The art design definitely changed. Now they wield a staff, which when upgraded looks even more impressive. Also, the crown becomes more prominent. In Heroes 4, liches aren't units anymore. We can command them on the battlefield, but only as heroes. We cannot overlook the fact that necromancers have this classical lich look. In fact, lich is an advanced class. In Neshan, people can transform into liches, also known as Asakus, by drinking Namtaris venom. The body is desiccated but intact, freed from the passion of the flesh to meditate undistracted. They're still growing older, until they look like dried up mummies. As they grow in power, they may earn the right to become vampires. Liches are surprisingly big in Heroes 5. They still shot Death Cloud, although it is now a 3x3 projectile. After upgrading them to Archliches, they gain the ability to cast spells, which makes sense since they carry a grimoire around. Tribes of the East introduce an alternative upgrade, Lich Masters. They lose the Death Cloud, but are slightly stronger and now can cast Rise Dead instead. In Heroes 6, the aesthetics take an inspiration from the spider goddess aspect of Asha. That's why they have spider legs behind their back. They have pale skin and not skulls for the first time in the series. Interestingly, when upgraded, Archliches could actually transfer life from an enemy and pour it into the hungry body of an undead ally. In Heroes 7, similarly to vampires, instead of being a simple recoloring, liches were voted by community to change their design. This way we got skeletal and more menacing units. Although they seem larger, they still occupy only one square on the battlefield, They still shoot. This time, Archlich's shot just reduces adjacent units' defense, and it doesn't damage them. In Olden era, Liches use both a phylactery and the rite prepared before death. What's interesting on Jedemi, they also delve into time-turning magic as a method of persisting on the mortal plane. In the universe, time travel has been well established since the time machine in Might and Magic 2. The first upgrade is Pestilent Lich. It's more akin to classical upgrade with its area strike that can damage both friends and foes alike. An alternative upgrade is a Sanguine Lich. This is a support healing unit. It reverses damage dealt to our units, can heal and even revive killed units. Additionally, it increases experience gained by the hero. Perhaps those abilities are gained by studying the time itself. That's not everything. There's also a neutral tier 8 undead dragon called Lich Dragon. You can get them from an eternal dragon, although it additionally requires sacrificing a certain amount of living dragons. Undead dragons come to existence in places where enormous amount of necrotic energies radiate close to their resting places. As such, for all the power they have, risen dragons are surprisingly simple and unambitious, more beasts guarding the graveyards than rulers. This unit seems to be a nod to fan-made expansion for Heroes 3, In the Wakes of Gods, where we could see Dracoliches. Let's talk about some prominent Liches heroes in the upcoming game. Ethric, once a brilliant but reclusive wizard of Bracada. Ethric delved into death magic and discovered the ritual of endless night. In his attempt to conceal his findings, he became the target of betrayal that nearly cost him his life. Ethric embraced undeath to survive, and became the very first Lich using said ritual. Yet he still clings to the pretense of life, walking among mortals with cryptic purpose. He is better known as Ethric the Mad. Later, he became the teacher of Jedit and Sandro. He's an enemy in the optional quest in Might and Magic 6, where Gabriel Cartman offers the party a reward for retrieving his skull. The party can enter his tomb, slay him, and get the skull. Supposedly, this would help him test some theories about reversing transformation into a Lich. Surprisingly, somehow he returns in one of the Heroes 3 campaigns, although he doesn't have a unique avatar or speciality. Perhaps it means that his phylactery wasn't destroyed, and he wasn't in fact eradicated. King of Kings. As its mind began falling through the repetition of necromantic rituals, this Lich gradually formed a narcissistic personality. It began calling itself the King of Kings, drawing followers who wished to be remembered, honor the dead, or learn from the past. It eventually was recognized by the Necromancers Guild and made into an agent. Could it be that everything we know about the Liches of the past, and everything we will know about them, is merely a deception of the present? I'll leave you to ponder this question. Thanks for watching and see you in part 3.